And there's been a lot of rumors as well as that what does Milwaukee do? Do they blow this whole thing up because you got, Giannis and you got Dame, and you can get a lot for both of those players? Or do you keep it intact because you do have two foundational players? Now, it's going to take a little bit of time, obviously, for Dame to come back after the injury with the Achilles. It's usually like a 6 month to a year situation, so he should be back next year at some point in time, I believe. Mike, man, what would you end up doing in this situation, man? Do you keep the core intact and just try to, bring some other pieces in, or do you kind of blow it up and start back over?
I think it all depends on the conversation you have with your superstar player in Giannis, right? Because you need to sit down with him, which they're going to do. I think it's like this week. They're going to sit down with him and see what direction they want to go in, right? And I feel like whatever Giannis says, I feel like you got to go with, right? If he's talking about that he's trying to win now, then you got to try to surround pieces around him. That's going to be tough, right? Like that. I wouldn't, even if you're trying to get some pieces around them, I wouldn't think that they will go back to the finals for the next 2-3 years. Does Giannis want to wait that long? You got to be real with him. You got to let him know, yo, maybe the next 2-3 years we're not even getting close. Maybe in year 3, 4, maybe we get close. Maybe year 5, maybe we're there. Does he want to wait that long? If he doesn't want to wait that long, you blow it up. You get some pieces in return for him. You get some pieces in return for Dame as well, or if not, picks, just like the Oklahoma City Thunder did. They got so many picks in return, and look at their team now, in my opinion, about to go to the NBA Finals and maybe win it, but they're going to probably get there, and they did it with just getting SGA and a bunch of picks. Maybe Milwaukee can do the same thing, but you got to let Giannis know the next 2-3 years, we're not going to make it close. Maybe 3 to 4 years, maybe we'll almost get there. Maybe 5, 6, maybe we're there. Maybe because Boston Celtics, Cleveland Cavaliers, Indiana Pacers just beat you. New York Knicks, they're coming up. The East is not a walk in the park no more. It's not LeBron James taking over and going to the NBA Finals every single year. Like it's very up for grabs, just like the West. So I feel like you just got to have that conversation with Giannis and see what's up.
Yeah, and so just looking at it too, Giannis is 30 years old. So I think that you're on the right track, that you don't have that. You have time, especially with the way people take care of their bodies and stuff now. But do you want to wait around that long? You get it going into your 30s, you're at the prime, and then all of a sudden the wall hits and you start to kind of decline a little bit. I think Giannis takes care of himself well enough that he's going to be able to maintain and have a long career. But as far as the question I was asking, I think I hate to do this whenever you just lose a series. Everybody's first reaction, things got to change. I really do think in this case, things do have to change. And I'm talking even getting rid of Doc Rivers. The whole thing for Milwaukee just needs to change. They never looked that right ever since the beginning of the season. Whenever they got rid of the head coach and then they bring in Doc, and the whole thing was just a tumultuous season that it just never felt right. Especially after the Dame trade or whenever they got Dame, everybody's like, man, this team is going to be so good and all this. It just never seemed like it was on the right path. They started out pretty good in the beginning of the season, but it just never seemed like it was in the right path. I think from a Milwaukee standpoint, I think that they should probably, unfortunately, blow this thing up. Get what you can for Giannis, because you could probably get a king's ransom. Unlike the Luka deal, that's another story. But I think you can get a lot for Giannis right now and send him to a team. He's done well for your city. He's done well for your team and done well for the organization. He's not demanding a trade. He's not even mentioning a trade. But I think, like you were saying, behind closed doors, we don't really know what's going on. But publicly, Giannis has been a stand-up, great NBA professional player, and he hasn't mentioned anything about a trade. But I think that they have to see the writing on the wall that they're not going to get any better anytime soon, especially with Dame being out. So I think at this point in time, you get what you can for Dame because he is going to be damaged goods. And unfortunately, you love what Dame brings to the game, but he's getting a little bit up there in age as well, coming off an Achilles injury. You don't know what's going on with this blood clot thing. I think you kind of have to see what you can get for him unless you keep Dame there, because you know that you need him to get healthy for you to get more of a value for him. But Giannis and him, I think that it's just see what you can do, even making a combo package. Send them together, whatever you got to do. But I think it's time for Milwaukee to hit the reset button, start back over. And I think it goes all the way to the top, getting a new head coach and just completely rebuilding this organization from the ground up.